No, man, but you got to keep going. What am I going to do, quit? That's not an option. You got to keep on keeping on. Life's a garden, dig it? You make it work for you. You never give up, man. That's my philosophy.
Hey, gardeners. Hope you're all having a great week. I'm just back here checking out all of our plants in the background here. I'm also just noticing that we had some flowers pop up from our Dracana, the speckled Dracana here. I'll tell you what, these flowers are awesome. They really, really smell great. More so, the corn plant Dracana is really, really an amazing, amazing flower for one of your indoor house plants. But yeah, we got a great show for you today. Again, thank you everybody for joining with us here. We've got Gary Pilarchik from the Rusted Garden coming to join with us in just a little bit here. And also, we'll have a little message from our sponsor, Ivy Organic. All right, everybody. Thank you for being here today. I really appreciate having you here with us on the show. And all right, let's get growing. All right, all my passionate plant people and garden enthusiasts. Welcome to the Let's Get Growing show here on the Urban Gardener. I'm Enoch. I'm your host today. We've got a really, really awesome show ahead for you today, so you'll definitely want to stay tuned. A little bit later here on the show, we will have Gary Pilarchik joining us again here on the show from the Rusted Garden. And also, too, here in just a few minutes as well, too, we will have our sponsor, Charles Malky from Ivy Organic, dropping in to talk a little bit about their Plant and Scion giveaway they do here every February on Ivy Organic. So we'll talk with him in just a little bit, too. So definitely stay tuned here for our guests coming up here on the show. And if you are joining with us here also, too, remember we got our roll call, this is a new feature for us this year, our roll call. So if you are here with us at the top of the show, definitely drop into the chat right now. Let us know you're here. Let us know what you've got growing on. And we'll give you a shout out here in just a few minutes on our roll call coming up here. But before we get going here today, let's go ahead and let's get this over with. Let's click that thumbs up, hit the like button there, subscribe if you haven't yet already, and the bell notification to be notified of all of our upcoming episodes. Share with all of your garden friends and let them know about the Let's Get Growing show here on the Urban Gardener channel every weekend here on our channel here. And that's also our new 3-day weekend here on the Let's Get Growing show here. This is your 3-day gardening talk weekend starting every Saturday and Sunday as usual right here at 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern, and now on Mondays with the Green Room, Monday evenings at 5 p.m. Pacific and 8 p.m. Eastern. And definitely you want to come and join that new show. We'll talk a little bit more about what we got coming up here in just a little bit. But the new show has been really, really fun, and I hope you've all been enjoying it. And if you haven't had a chance to check it out, definitely do that here coming up this Monday, because we got another great one coming for you for sure. And shout out to all of you who are joining us on the replay. Thank you so much for being here. We really, really appreciate you dropping in on your time. And if you can, let's definitely drop into the comment section. Let us know you're here. Let us know what you've got growing on this year. I'd love to hear from you, or just drop in and say hi. We just want to see all of you there. So definitely do that. And I'll talk to you then. And also, if you are here with us live today, definitely drop into the conversation. As I said, we got roll call coming up, but if you do have any questions or comments or anything else, definitely drop that into the chat there for our guests coming up, because I want to see all those questions when we get our guests coming up, especially for Gary. Gary's, again, similar to our good friend Gardner Scott, who will be here tomorrow. Gary's a just massive amount of knowledge in gardening. You got questions, you got thoughts, you got anything you need to know, definitely drop those in when Gary's on with us here just a little bit later on the show too. And also, follow all those links to our guests down below in the description. And one of the things that you can really do, and I mention this all the time, definitely go over to their channels or Instagrams or whatever types of links we have for our guests there. Go find one of their videos or posts or something and drop into their comment section and let them know that you saw them here on the Let's Get Growing show for sure. Show them some support for spending their time with us here on our show here too. So it's awesome again to have you all here with us today. Lots and lots and lots growing on around here. As I've mentioned, we got lots of great new shows coming up, the green room and all of that as well too, been going really, really awesomely here. I hope again too everything's going great for all of you, as I mentioned at the beginning there with our video and everything. I hope your gardens are going great. I hope or depending on where you're gardening from though, hopefully everything's growing well or about to grow well in your garden planning, or your seed starting and all that sort of stuff is going great. But I'm still a little bit behind here. I'm slowly getting caught up, though. We've got lots of things happening here. I should have actually done a little video clip of the microgreens and stuff. I think I'll show you guys that next week. We did get that kind of started up. We got a few other things outdoors. We had a couple of nice days this week, so I started pulling some weeds and cleaning up some areas outdoors. Just a little bit though, not too heavy into it. So hopefully I'll get some decent enough weather this next week, and I'll be able to get out there and really get some things going and get some things shaped up out there so that we can get some things growing here real soon. I already see some volunteers of a lot of stuff starting to pop up. Warm days like we've starting to see here in our late winter right now is definitely starting to wake up all of those like little spring flowers. I can start to see the green starting to pop up out of the ground around the way, so there's a lot of life that's just really excited about getting going here as we start to warm up in this growing season coming up. So looking forward to a lot of the stuff that we got growing on this year. As we all know, it's that exciting time of year as we can start to see longer days, right? It's a little bit lighter out, a little bit later, and we know that spring is just right around the corner. And again, depending on where you're living, maybe you've already got a lot of stuff growing and you're already got a lot of stuff going. Maybe you're a little bit north and you're just still kind of itching to get out there and get some things into your garden. But either way, we'll all be gardening really soon for sure. So right on, everybody. Again, everybody, thank you so much for being here. Let's go ahead and jump right in here. Like I mentioned, we've got our roll call here that we've got, which is new. So if you haven't jumped in yet here into the conversation, definitely drop into the conversation here for a roll call. Let us know you are here. Let us know where you're growing from and what you've got growing on in your garden. Or also, if you got a small channel too, if you're new to the show and you haven't been here yet and you haven't had a shout out yet for your channel, or it's been a while since you've had a shout out for your channel, definitely drop in the chat there. Let us know what you got growing on. And Jay also will try to get us a link into our chat as well too for everybody. So all right, everyone, let's go ahead and get this roll call started.
My name is Kevin.
Yeah.
That is my name.
Yeah.
They call me Kevin.
Yeah.
Because that's my name.
Roll call.
All right, everybody. It's roll call time. Like I said, get in there, drop in your name, location, what you've got growing on. And we'll start it off by, of course, welcoming and saying hi to our good friend, facilitator and backstage producer now, Jay, the J-Bot, in the chat there. So again, to let us know too if you have any of those channels. Like I said, Jay will drop some links in, and throughout the show there, keep an eye out for other information and links and all of that Jay drops into the conversation to help facilitate more information for what we're talking about here today. So right on, let's drop in here, see who else we've got in on the show with us today. We've got Brett. Brett, it's always great to see you. Good to see you back here with us today. He says, I'm super excited for this live. Yeah. I'm always super excited for a show when we've got our good friend Gary Pilarchik from the Rusted Garden on. And of course, we get to talk to our sponsor, our good friend Charles Malky from Ivy Organic today. So yeah, really exciting live today for us for sure. We've got Serena in the conversation. She says, hi, cousins. I'm going to watch this. And then the Urban Gardener starts. All right. Excellent. I appreciate that, Serena. MKP, excellent. Always awesome to see you in the conversation. Can't wait for another awesome live. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Kevin, always great to see you as well, too. We've got Robin from Robin Gardens joining us from Chicagoland. She says it's about 24 degrees Fahrenheit there. Looks like a few days in the 40s coming this week. Right on, a little warmer, slowly warming up, as I was mentioning. Hopefully, everything does get to warming right up for you all there in those northern climates, so you can get out there and start growing here real soon. Big Will Dog in the soil. Hello, my garden friend. Always great to see you, Will. Thank you for jumping into the conversation today. Dusty Flats. Always great to see you, Dusty. Thank you. Kevin says, I've followed Gary for quite a while now. Great person, great local knowledge. Yeah. I've followed Gary again, too. He's one of those OGs of YouTube gardening for sure. He's been around for a long time. Definitely since I started growing and learning on YouTube. He's one of those first gardeners I got to meet here on YouTube as well, too. And let's see here. We got Hashulio. Hello. Great to see you there. And somebody say hi, Eddie. Hi, Eddie. It's great to see you, Eddie. It's awesome to have you here with us for the conversation. Always great to see you joining in with us here. Definitely. All right, everybody. And I see we also got Rob from Rob's Allotment Garden joining us here as well in the conversation. I hope you've had a great week as well, too, Rob. Thank you for jumping in. Thank you for being here. And Will says, no worries. I am too a bit behind. Been editing a worm bin video that's gotten bigger than I had planned. Oh, wow. That's going to be great. Awesome. I can't wait to see that. I got to get on another worm bin video here soon myself and do like a little follow-up to the last one that I did. Our worms are growing in the other room there, producing all of the worm castings. We've got plenty of those coming up for our season and everything. So right on. Excellent. So, all right, everybody, thank you for jumping in here today. Again, like I said, we've got a great show for all of you. Looking forward to talking to our guests here in just a few minutes. So let's go ahead here real quick. Let's take our first break, and we'll be right back with our first guest.
Ivy Organic was founded on the gardening concept of whitewashing, simply lightening your plants to better tolerate weather extremes, transplant shock, and so much more. Such a valuable gardening practice that farmers have been doing it since BC times. However, in recent years, most research has been caring for plants and trees using latex and tar-based products which are designed to last 100 years but fall off your plants within 1 to 2 years as your plants grow, contaminating your garden soil indefinitely. Available in colors white or more natural looking colors such as brown, green, gray, and grayish. Ivy Organic has 2 general categories of whitewash products. The 3-in-1 Plant Guard, which includes 7 natural oils including castor, cinnamon, clove, garlic, peppermint, rosemary, and spearmint, which offer insect and rodent repellent protection, and the whitewash oil-free formula. Both products also have diatomaceous earth in the base ingredients, which naturally offer some insect repellent protection too. As always, keep growing with Ivy Organics and wishing you all happy gardening.
Hi, I'm Brandy, the Suburban Gardenista, and I'm here today with this week's trivia question. And today's question is, what does winter interest mean? And your options are A, that special gardener in your life that warms your heart while the snow freezes your garden. B, plants that give structure and beauty to your garden during the winter months. C, the percentage that your garden grows each year due to winter planting time. Or D, a new gardening obsession that begins while your garden hibernates. I'll be back a little bit later in the show with the answer.
All right, there we go. Awesome, awesome. Again, thank you to Brandy for the garden trivia today. Do you know what winter interest is? We'll have Brandy back on here in just a little bit to give you the answer to the question there. Drop into the chat. Let us know what you think it might be. And also, too, again, you might have noticed there during the break, and I've been talking about this the last couple of weeks. We're doing a new snapshot of the week here on the show where we get to feature all of your gardens and pictures and all that sort of stuff. So you got to send us some pictures in here to the show. I've been looking into my email each and every time I mention this, and I'm still not seeing anything yet. So let's make sure that you guys are out there snapping some pictures, getting some things going on in your garden, and send them off to the urban gardener at mail.com. Send me some pictures from your garden. Let us know what your pictures are, where you're growing from, and all of that, so that we can feature those on our snapshots of the week. So definitely, I want to see those pictures. Come on, you guys. I gotta see some more photos. We want to put more than just what I've got growing on around here or other folks. So we want to see what's growing on in your garden. Send those to the urban gardener at mail.com. As well as, if you didn't get a chance to check out last week's show too, I do want to mention we had a great show last week. This was one of our favorite shows we're doing here this last year. It was our first community show of 2026, and yes, that's when you, the audience, are the guest. So this is where you get a chance to come join the show, like a radio call-in show, except for it's video. You get to join us here on the show. So go back and check out that one from last week, and you can meet some of the faces that you get to see in the chat with you here each and every week here on the show. Plus, on our Sunday edition of the show last week, we had with us another appointment with Dr. Jeffrey Pierce joined with us to talk more about gardening as medicine. And I'm telling you, this was probably one of my favorite conversations with Dr. Jeff that we've had so far. We talked about blue zones. We just dug really deep into a whole bunch of different topics around blue zones and your garden, and how important gardens are in the blue zones as well, too. So definitely go back and check that out. And as I've mentioned, we've got our new green room show with Natalie and I. And this last Monday, we had a really awesome, fun conversation with Brandy. You just saw her, the Suburban Gardenista, doing our trivia. She was on last Monday, joining us with Michael from the Garden Nerd. He was on with us as well, too. We had a really fun conversation with those two, Natalie and I. So again, go back and check out those shows if you haven't had a chance to yet. All right, everybody, it's time to get moving on here today. We got some really fun things to talk about with our first guest today. It's time for Are You Following Me?
Are you following me? Are you following me, dude?
All right, everybody, we're all familiar with this face. We see him every single week here. There he is. There's our friend. Let me switch this up too. I gotta switch us up. All right, here we are. Charles, how are you doing today, man? I see you're joining us from where are you joining us from? You're on location.
Yeah, so today I'm in Irvine, California for the Orange County annual free Scion exchange, where you'll find cuttings from all of your favorite fruit trees, from apples, peaches, plums, apricots, you name it. And
Yeah.
today specifically, for those of you following the Ivory Organics YouTube channel, we just published yesterday, there's a 100-year-old Hollywood Fuerte avocado tree. There's scions of that tree that we're trying to save as they're making way for affordable housing in the city of LA. And we're trying to rescue one of the oldest Fuerte avocado trees planted in the United States. That's, again, destined for demolition. And that's part of the genetics that we're saving here at today's event. And if there's a minute or two at the end, I would love to give you and your audience a tour of the hundreds of people that are here. And like,
Oh,
it's just
absolutely.
like, these are the things you would never find at Home Depot or Lowe's or those big box stores. It's basically everything you can wish for. Everybody's prized possessions from their gardens. They're giving it away here. And again, that's currently where I'm at. And for those of you that don't know me, again, my name is Charles Malky, biologist and plant expert for Ivy Organics brand products. We've been teaching and educating people through YouTube and other social media platforms for over 10 years now. And we're excited to have the leading garden product YouTube channel in the country with over 200,000 subscribers. And we educate about 5 to 20,000 people a day. And what's going on now in the month of February, and I know I'm just going on and on and on, and
That's
hopefully
right.
you've got the graph you can share, but it's the annual free fruit plant scion giveaway. For those of you that are familiar, we've always done just figs for about 9 years, and this is the first year that we're giving away everything we can get our hands on. And for those of you that are interested in participating, we're basically giving links to all the other collaborators in the country that want to be a part of it. Like, for example, Enoch, if you've got something on your property that you'd like to share and you've got about a handful or a dozen cuttings you'd like to share, we like to bring all of our community together for this annual event as what's happening locally here in Irvine, California on this almost 80-degree day, believe it or not.
Oh my, here we're talking of weather and some cold weather for some of our northern folks, and you're 80 degrees sunny Southern California day.
We're cooking. Look at the monarch butterflies flying around me.
I
They've been
see.
circling me all day.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Excellent, excellent. So yeah, you were just mentioning there too, and I think a lot of folks who've been around and seen this giveaway the last couple of years. It's usually a fig cutting giveaway, but you've expanded it out this year, right?
Correct. This is the first year that we're doing everything since we again, part of the inspiration is these California rare fruit growers. You can join from anywhere in the country. My friends can become your friends. They've really opened a lot of doors. One, like for those of you that have been following the Ivy Organics YouTube channel, one of the pillars in the gardening community is Tom Spellman. He's considered one of the leading educators on fruit tree care in the country, and I know he's been a guest here on this show as well. And the goal is just to continuously build and learn. It's the fact that, our cup's always, I always like to say it's, half empty or even less, like 5 or 10% full. And there's still so much more to learn. And by surrounding yourself with those skills and those talents, it keeps motivating us year after year. And here we are now in 2026. And the goal is, how are we going to make this year better than last year, right? Like every year is another year of hope, and all of the lessons you learned last year and all the mistakes that happen are opportunities for this year. So it's always super exciting when, January and February hit and we have another grow season and hopefully abundance that we're all going to get to enjoy this summer.
Yeah. We're all always growing in many, many different ways each and every year, right?
Absolutely.
Whether it's our gardens or ourselves personally, our projects, the different things that we're involved in. And I like that point of view that you said there. We're going to take those things that we learned last year, we're going to apply them to this year and have an even better year this year. And I think that's one of the cool things about gardeners, the gardening community and all of that. We go into every single year with this same new hope for the new year, right?
Absolutely. A couple things if I can quickly share for those watching.
Mm-hmm.
There's a promo code. Hopefully that is clear enough. And if you use GROW10, that gives credit to Enoch and the this live podcast. And you get 10% off the entire Ivy Organic store. So that includes all of the products, the plants, and again, for this entire month, you can go to the YouTube lesson that we published on February 1st, and you'll see in the video description below, there's already about a handful, almost a dozen items that are now out of stock. But again, there's hundreds of cuttings to choose from, including my passion fruit. There's an Anna's apple, as I like calling it, because my next door neighbor was Anna. And I know, Enoch, you grow apples too, but there's a variety I've never shared before that's been on my property since I was 10 years old. So every single house I've ever moved from, I've always taken cuttings and grafted it because this apple is so special. And what makes it so special is it's basically a green apple that begins turning red as the sweetness happens within the apple. If you pick it as a red apple, it's completely sweet. If you get it half green and half red, as I like it, you get the perfect balance of sweet and tart. It's a medium to large apple, super crisp, super juicy, heavy, delicious. And again, it's like an apple I've never had before. And that's the reason I've been bringing those genetics onto my property. And again, for those of you that are familiar, it's on my multi-grafted apple tree. There's 3 to 4 varieties. The first and foremost, most important, between that, the Granny Smith, Fuji, among other apples that are on the tree, is my, as I'm calling it, the Orange County sweet tart apple is the name I've given it. And Orange County being that at the time I was living in Mission Viejo in Orange County, California. And my next door neighbor, her dad was like a manager or VP for Pepsi Cola. And that those branches came over to our property and we would always get our hands on as many as we could year after year until I learned how to graft at a very young age in my middle school years. And that's how I've been able to preserve those genetics as we're doing for the Hollywood 100 Fuerte avocado tree that's destined for demolition any day now. And again, all of those plants you'll find on the Ivory Organics YouTube channel, published February 1st.
So what's the reasoning for them taking it out? This tree?
So for those of you familiar with, it's actually a state of California policy, but specifically in Los Angeles, the goal is to maximize housing units. So this 6-unit building will now like become 150 units, and it's under the guise of affordable housing. So it's going to be discounted about 80% of the market rate. So it's just a 20% discount. So it's still expensive rent. But to the landlord, it's a lottery ticket. You went from 8 units to like 150 units now. So the value for developers is through the roof. For the purpose of the city, it obviously is going to create population density. And the goal is just to create more and more units. Most people see that it's a bad idea. There's no parking involved with most of these structures, and they assume everybody's going to take the bus, among other concerns. So, but these are political questions. I love development.
So the
projects
tree,
themselves.
so they're just expanding this property, and the tree is in the way then, right?
The tree is in the way of maximizing more units in the city of LA. Yeah. But that
But you
whole
guys,
story, you'll meet the tenant that's been there for 15 years and the value. She's like, that tree saved my life. And she's like, I talked to the tree, and I'm like, it's totally normal because your trees and your plants are your pets. It's some people have a dog or a cat for comfort, but your plants depend on you too, for water and nutrients and pruning and so forth. And I'm strategically sitting here. I actually had the camera spinned around so you can see the people. Maybe I'll turn it in just a minute. But this apple tree behind me, I'm 99% confident it's Ivory Organics on there. For those of you that are not familiar, these are the cans. It's basically the Ivory Organics 3-in-1 plant guard. But if you see the apple tree behind me, it's painted in color white and gray. So there's 5 different colors that we offer.
Nice.
But this apple tree, as you can see, is in an espalier structure. So it's maximizing on light and air and allows for developing. Hi guys, how you doing? Not a problem. But larger fruit, higher quality, disease resistance, and so forth. But the biggest risk with doing espalier fruit, sunburn. And these guys get it. And that's why you'll see that
it's exposed.
It's completely exposed there. And so again, whitewashing, hugely important. They basically whitewash from the base all the way to the tips because it's all getting too much sun. And check out how green it is. Here we are, mid-February. Most trees across the country are still dormant. And here, this thing is getting ready to go into bloom any day now.
Yeah. Wow, that's great. Yes, and it's awesome to see that they're using the Ivy Organic on it. True, because again, we don't want to be painting our trees with the latex and all of that. So that's really awesome to see them using that there.
Absolutely. And even for grafting, which is part of a lot of the education that's going on here today, with grafting wounds, it's a good idea that after those wounds heal, that you, again, protect it with the Ivory Organic 3-in-1 plant guard to keep pests and disease from infecting those wounds that have just recently healed. Compared to, again, latex and tar-based products, whether it go on a prune branch or grafting wounds or anywhere on your tree, it's trapping moisture. And the tree is a living, breathing thing, just like people. And you put a latex glove, material on the plant.
Yeah.
And it's contributing to underlying rot, and it actually harms those pruned areas, those grafting wounds, by putting this water impermeable barrier on your plants. And Ivory Organic dries on porous, and it offers a lot of natural organic ingredients. Most of our ingredients are also Armory certified, meaning for it's Armory is Organic Materials Review Institute, basically certifications that commercial orchards also rely on. And then we've got our
Yeah.
fertilizers as well. For those of you not familiar, there's a super and premium blend fertilizer, and it offers your plants all 6 plant macronutrients. 95, 98, 99% of the people I teach only remember NPK for your nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium as being the macronutrients that plants need. But plants, in fact, need 6 plant macronutrients. Nutrients that plants need in abundance include sulfur, calcium, and magnesium. Magnesium is the heart
Yeah.
of the chlorophyll molecule. Calcium is the building blocks for the cell walls. The dry weight of a plant, about 30% of it is calcium. So if again your soil is lacking in calcium, that's going to affect overall performance. And then sulfur is important for the metabolic processes that are happening within plants and contributes to good overall greening of the plant as well. So the Ivory Organics all-purpose fertilizers, whether it be the super or premium blend, have all the macronutrients. And then you've got the azomite as well, and the super blend, which is simply crushed volcanic rock to give your plants a lot of the micronutrient nutrition as well. And then again, by using Enix promo, again, grow 10, you get 10% off all of the products. And again, you get cuttings with everything that you want. And in your checkout, as you're checking out, be sure to list all of the cuttings that you'd want in preferential order, starting with your first choice first. And we'll do our best to accommodate your requests as well.
Yeah. So right on, everybody. This is a really great time, as I'm always mentioning, is the 3-in-1 plant guard. I think is just an essential product for your garden shed. So if you don't have any there, this is a great opportunity to be able to get some in your garden shed and get 10% off. Like Charles saying, use our promo code GROW10 in the shop there. So go get some of that there and then take advantage, because this is a great opportunity to get some free cuttings and all of that sort of thing as well too. So right on, I'm getting a little walk around here.
So one other thing, if I can quickly plug in, for those of you on podcasts, whether it be iTunes or Spotify or you name it, if you search for Growing with Charles Malky, you'll find our podcast and a lot of educational lessons there as well.
Yeah, we'll get Jay to drop a link for that as well too. Charles got his new podcast that he's starting up here this year, so that's going great. How's the podcast been?
It's been a lot of fun. It's so cool because I mean, you just sit there and talk compared to all of the Ivory Organics lessons are all. Do you want to say hello?
Yeah.
Hey. So with all of the Ivory Organics YouTube lessons, I'm always demonstrating something, and that requires a lot of work and edits and so forth. Compared to the podcasts are a lot easier. So you can see all these cuttings. Here's the table.
Oh yeah.
So you can see. And
excellent.
Want to say hi, Nohan?
Hello.
Hi.
How's everything going?
Going good. All right.
Okay.
And
so Charles, these are just folks who are bringing their own cuttings and sharing them here at this event?
Yeah. So, I mean, imagine my one contribution is the cuttings that we did about a week ago for the Hollywood 100 Fuerte avocado tree. So you'll see that here. And here's Kaz, who was featured in our last lesson. If you want to say hello.
Hello. Hi, Charles.
Hi.
Do you want to share what you've got here, what you shared?
This is our Charles and I went over to the tree and cut all these. So here's the Hollywood 100 Fuerte avocado, small Dino. Is that how you say it?
Correct, small Dino.
So I'm just packing some more to hand out, and I have another bag full right here that I have to trim the leaves.
Oh,
and
wow.
next week, I'm going to get like 4 more bags.
Wow, that's a lot. You got a lot of those
we
available
have to hurry before
already.
they cut the tree down.
Yeah, I shared the story with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We gotta, they're going to tear down the tree.
They're going to take it down. Yeah. And then they've got guest lecturers are going to be talking over here behind me. And you can see all the chairs. And there's a girl named by the name of Ruth Gamble, who, again, was featured in my last video on YouTube. she's going to be singing a grafting song for us, hopefully. And I look forward
Oh,
to sharing that with all of you guys as well.
Oh yeah, catch some video of that for me for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be super special. She's super talented. It's going to be great.
Yeah. We always love to get some garden music around here.
Yeah, for sure. It's hard. It's hard finding original gardening music.
Yeah. We found a few though. We
Oh,
found a
yeah?
few.
We'll share those with me too then.
Yeah, definitely. A formidable vegetable from Australia is always really fun to listen. So we have them on the show every now and then, and he kind of plays music for us live. So it's
That's great.
but yeah, it's great to hear folks who are bringing art to the garden, right? And
Absolutely.
great music. So that's fun.
But let's stay
Excellent. So-
connected. Anybody that wants to reach out, info@Ivy Organics comes directly to me. Any ideas you have, ways that we can grow together, love
Yeah.
being a part of the team. Check out this massive avocado tree here behind me. I would say of all
Oh,
fruit
wow.
trees, avocados are gold. You can't get enough.
Right.
You see this thing?
Yeah. Look at that. That is big. Got any avocados on there?
It's just going into bloom. I'm looking for the fruit,
Oh,
but I'm sure with all these people here, if there were fruit, it would have been gone by now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's massive though.
Yeah. It's a beautiful tree.
Excellent.
Oh.
Well, real quick here, Charles, tell us a little bit about what else you've got coming up here in 2026. Any plans, how gardens, any trips or anything like that you plan on doing?
I mean, the trips, for those of you watching, if you insist, like this is one that you can't miss. I know there's a flower show that's coming up. I think it's this month, right? Enoch?
Yep. Yeah, that's right. The Northwest
So-
Flower and Garden Show.
But whatever you think's like most important, I'd love to be there. I'm more available this year than ever before. And the factory, the manufacturing, the shipping, everything's happening more and more automatic, which is fantastic. Freeing up more time so I can be there with you guys more. So the last California Rare Fruit Growers meeting. How are you? So the last few meetings that we've had for California Rare Fruit Growers, both Los Angeles and Orange County, I've been there for all of them. And it's just been great seeing the community. And again, if there's other good ideas or things I should be at, I would love to be there. But in
Yeah.
regards to just general overall, kind of in conclusion comments, there is more products coming soon. We look forward to sharing it with you guys. It's still in the developmental stage, but we're always looking. Ivy Organics keywords are being innovative, organic, effective, USA made. So we're working on pushing those things. We just recently also moved our store from a WordPress onto Shopify. So it's a different experience. You'll find links to our podcast there as well. So we're continuously looking to develop, add more value, making it a better experience for everyone that's a part of our family. And again, I would say, I can't reiterate enough. This is my favorite time of the year for getting connected with the country with our free scions and fruit cutting giveaway that we are doing this year in the biggest way we've ever done in 10 years. But it is the most exciting month of the year is February. Take these cuttings, you can root them, some of them. You can graft them if they don't root well. Examples being figs, grapes, pomegranates. They're so easy to root from cuttings. So even though some of these, but actually most of these that are prepared specifically for cuttings, it's already dipped in rooting hormone. So we've already prepared the cuttings for you to just simply put in a perlite, vermiculite. My preference is mixing those two together 50-50 and using that for your rooting medium and getting it started. If you've got a greenhouse or a nice sunny window that gets good morning sun is a great place to start your cuttings and getting rooted before spring. And then for the harder to root stuff like apples and avocados and so forth, you need to graft those. So you'll be receiving cuttings from us as well that are ideally suited for grafting. So those will not be dipped in rooting powder, as again, they don't root well. Their preference for propagation is by way of grafting.
Yeah, right on. Excellent. And again, too, it's just it's really awesome that this is kind of expanded out from just the fig giveaways that you've been doing in the past to all of these other different grafts and scions and cuttings and all of that you're offering. So many cool varieties. And again, everybody, you'll want to go and check out Ivy Organics. .com there. Use promo code GROW10, and as I said, this is a really great opportunity for you all to Get some of the IV organic products, especially the 3-in-1 plant guard, and then get one of their free fruit and plant scions that they're giving away. So definitely check out the link down below too as well if you want to find the link there too, and get in on this special thing here. And again too, just let us know real quick here about what they got to do there as they're doing that, in order, because you were mentioning something about picking out certain ones so that you can make sure they get one of the ones that they're looking for.
Yeah. So as you're preparing the checkout process, there is a comment section on the checkout page. As you're putting the order together, it's there that you're simply going to list your preference when it comes to cuttings. And we'll do our best, again, based on availability. We update the list every few days, so there might be things that are out. That's why I would continue the list past if your particular purchase comes with 1 or 2 cuttings. I would add 3 to 4 suggestions. If it comes with like 6 cuttings because you got a bigger order, try to include your top 10, and we'll do our best to accommodate you that way.
Awesome. Excellent, Charles. Great again to have you. Like I said, we see you every week, but it's great to have you here with us live and
We
to
love
talk
it.
about all this, especially here in February for the giveaway and all of that. We look forward to talking to you later on throughout the season, more about growing with Charles Malky again too. Go check out his new podcast. Go check out some new videos over at IV Organics on YouTube. We've got links down below in the description for you as well too. So again, everybody, thank you so much, Charles, for being here with us today. Like I said,
No,
we
it's
look
an honor.
forward.
If I can just
yeah.
add all of the friends
Absolutely.
that I ran into, I'll be sharing this link. Hopefully they'll be liking and subscribing this channel. Easy thing all of you guys can do, and it's free, is subscribing. It makes a massive difference to the reach that all of these lessons go to. And we encourage you all to make sure, if you haven't done so already, like that button, hit the subscribe button, and show your love and support for Enoch and the hard work that he does to bringing you some of the best educators in gardening in the world, not just United States. And I haven't seen anybody that is putting out the content that you are, and we're so blessed to have it. And keep up the good work.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Appreciate the compliment. And we're really blessed to have you along with us as well too, Charles. And again, like I said, we look forward to seeing you again real soon. You go and enjoy the rest of your day out there. It looks amazing.
It's hot, man.
All
I
right.
will. And wishing you guys all the best, and hope this is all of our best growing seasons ever. Take care.
Hey gardeners, thanks for tuning in to our show today. We'll be right back at it here in just a moment. I just wanted to take a second here to highlight our regular videos and features here on the Urban Gardener channel. Our weekly garden journals, and our incredible featured visits.
I'm back with the answer to this week's trivia question. Do you know what winter interest means? The correct answer is B. Plants that give structure and beauty to the garden over the winter months. When planning your garden, consider planting not only for the growing season, but also for winter interest. Consider plants that have interesting winter features, like colorful bark, interesting seed heads, or berries that not only look beautiful amongst the snow, but feed the birds over the winter as well. Some examples native to my area are red osier dogwood, which has beautiful red stems, coneflowers, which have really cool spiky seed heads that feed the birds, and smooth rose, which has beautiful rose hips that the birds like to munch on as well. So definitely plan for the growing season, but keep winter in mind as well. And that's your garden trivia for today. Thanks so much for playing. Enjoy the rest of the show, and be sure to pop by and say hi at the Suburban Gardenista on YouTube and Instagram, and there'll be a link for you down in the description below. Thanks again, and happy gardening!
All right, excellent. And thank you so much to Brandy. Did you get her garden trivia correct today? Definitely go and check out Brandy at the Suburban Gardenista. Link down below in the description. All right, everybody. Did you get a chance to check? I mentioned this already, but did you get a chance to check out last week's show, or stick around too as well for what we've got coming up this weekend as well too? Again, that's our 3-day gardening weekend around here on the Let's Get Growing show, as we're doing this year in 2026. And we've got coming up tomorrow for our Sunday edition, same time, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. We've got our good friend Gardner Scott from the Gardner Scott channel joining us for Ask Gardner Scott. Scott joins with us every second Sunday of the month in order to answer all of your gardening questions. So definitely come and join with us tomorrow to chat with Gardner Scott about everything growing on that he's got growing on here coming up this year. And again, like I said, answering all of your gardening questions. Plus, like I was mentioning too, the new show that we've got going on here for your 3-day gardening talk weekend on Let's Get Growing. We're extending that 3-day weekend into Monday evenings now with our green room. Yes, it's the green room with Natalie from the Fresh Princess. She's our co-host on the green room on Monday nights. And this Monday, we're going to have joining with us Andre the Farmer and Gardening with Gray. These two are going to join with us for our conversation in the green room. So you'll definitely not want to miss out on that coming up here this weekend. And then, like I said, stay tuned here, and I'll also let you know here at the end of the show what we've got coming up here for next weekend as well too. So all right, everyone, it's time for us to get on with this conversation here today. Really excited to have him back on the show. Let's get to our featured guest.
You never know when you might learn something, and that's what this is about for me. These are people that I admire. Please welcome my next guest.
All right, everybody. Let's welcome back to the show from the Rusted Garden. We've got with us Gary Pilarchik. How you doing, Gary? It's great to see you. Thanks for coming back and joining us today.
Glad to be back. And as contrast, I heard Charles was saying he's sweating. It's 17 degrees here right now.
I know. I know a lot of our viewers too are in some pretty cool climates too. We were talking about that at the beginning of the show. We had somewhat of a warm day the last couple of days. We got nearly, I think in the upper 50s, right around the lower 60s, which was great. But still a little cool for me. Overnights are still kind of freezing a bit. So yeah, we still got some cool temperatures here. Yeah. But yeah, I can't believe having 80 degrees. Those guys in those southern climates just make us gardeners jealous this time of year every time.
50 degrees would be a heat wave right now here.
I know.
I can't
so even that.
We have, 10 inches of snow and ice. So I haven't even been able to get out to the garden or the greenhouse for almost 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was like a little warm snap. I don't know what it's going to do, but our overnights are still really, really cold. I wake up to frost every morning. So it's still pretty cool around here. So right on, man. How things been going with you there at the Rusted Garden?
Things are going well. 2026, always exciting now. February is like starting seeds indoors. So I'm doing a lot of that. Not really planning on changing up too much. My YouTube channel's more of a teaching channel. So I do a lot of real-time videos. I'm going to I say I'm not going to change up a whole lot. I'm going to do a little bit more of what I'm planting in the garden today and helping people kind of plan out the first 2 weeks of each month so that they kind of can be on track. More for the new gardeners. But generally speaking, I'm just sticking with, what I've been doing for 15 years now.
Oh yeah. That's great. And like I said to everybody earlier and everything too, 15 years. It's unbelievable. And I'm having a hard time believing myself, like how long I've been doing all this sort of stuff. But I was telling everybody is like, you're like one of those original YouTube gardeners, you know. And I remember when I first started going on YouTube and learning and finding your videos and all of that. I think I've mentioned to you before, I still use kind of this the same light station that I built out from one of your
Mhm.
old videos. We're talking old videos, your first ones, and you built the
Yep.
PVC setup for a light station, and you had them kind of a couple of different
Yeah, I
sizes
remember
of
it.
them. I built like a bigger version of it and kind of a little different type of thing, but it was because of what I learned from your channel that I did that, and I still have today and everything from 15 years ago. It's hard to believe.
15 years ago. I mean, the stand's still relevant. The beauty is that the lights have changed from
Yeah.
fluorescent to LEDs that you can just buy off the shelf, and they're really,
Mhm.
really effective. They don't, carry everything like grow lights, but they're totally effective. And I don't know if you can see it over my shoulder, but my grow light station's back there. And that's
Yeah.
what I grow under, just white LEDs.
Yeah, yeah. And even if you still got some of those old ones, you know, they're a little more energy use and all that, but those were still effective as well too. And it's one of the things I tell
They're
people is
effective.
this, it was one of the things that's really surprising and also makes it inexpensive for you to be able to put some of this stuff together as well, is how well just some basic stuff works like that.
Well, that's like one of my goals, is to help kind of take the mystery out of gardening, help people kind of do it
Mhm.
on a budget. So a shelf, a white LED light, basic seed starting mix, which I recommend, not affiliated with them, but the Jiffy mix,
Mhm.
because it doesn't have any wood pulp or garbage in it. You
Okay.
got to be careful. And you can grow really any kind of seed start you want indoors. Save yourself some money, have a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah. And talking about seed starting, that was one of the things I want to talk about. You, one of your recent videos, I think probably even one of your last videos you did, you were talking about seed starting mixes and all of that as well too,
Mhm.
because that's, you know, we're all either planning on starting seeds right now, or some of us are well into seed starting and all of that. But tell us a little bit about some of your tips on seed soil mixes.
So I just did a video on
Mhm.
comparing a couple products.
Yeah.
And the bottom line is, you're going to read as an ingredient: forestry product, forest product, natural wood, something.
Yeah.
Anything like that means they're just shredding wood and they're putting it into a bag. And you never
Mhm.
want that starting. You don't even want that in your garden, but outside, you can get around
Yeah.
it. First thing you want to do is make sure, if you're buying your seed starting mix, make sure it's a combination of peat moss, cocoa core, vermiculite, and maybe some perlite. That's what the main ingredient should be. If it has anything else in it, it's going to be wood. And these companies use wood as a filler and as a way, I think, to make money on this. This is my soapbox a little bit. I won't stay
Mhm.
on
That's
too long.
true. I believe you.
But you want to stay away from the shredded wood. Once you got a product that is decent, you can really grow mostly anything in there. If you want to save a little money, actually yesterday I just did a video on blending a uh, bag of Jiffy Mix, 12 quarts, that's more peat based, and a compressed brick of cocoa core together. Makes a great seed starting mix, great potting up mix, and you can use it for both. So that's the way to kind of just pull stuff off the shelf. If you want to make your own and save even more money, you can buy the compressed bales of peat moss, and you can buy very fine vermiculite bags, and you can make your own. I think I use like a 5-to-2 ratio peat to vermiculite. That is a good base. And then just, the other thing is, some people are concerned that peat moss is not sustainable. They prefer cocoa core, and both of them really have impact on the environment. The cocoa
Mhm.
core is so energy intensive to make and grind down and wash, that there's impacts on both sides. So I just, ask people to kind of look into what works
Yeah.
best for them and
Wash is
pick what
important
works best.
too, though, right? I mean, you mentioned a key
Yeah.
word there, wash, right? Because this could be an issue,
Yeah.
especially, and I've found too with cocoa coires I've bought over the years as well too, is coconuts are grown, and which is what they get the core from, are grown around oceans, and they can be really salty and have lots of salts in them. So you got to be careful with certain cocoa coirs if they're salty or not. And I've just come to the point now, Gary, myself, that it doesn't matter if they say it's washed or not. I wash my cocoa coir before I use it anyways. And that's just simply I use like a big old tub with some holes on the bottom, right? And so I'll soak it in the thing and get it nice and wet in extra water. So I let that brick soak in extra water, get extra wet. I'd pour it all into this one with holes in the bottom and let it drain just to kind of give it that extra wash. What do you think about that?
Right. I would agree. Like I feel with anything, you buy a product, you test it out, you find a good one, you stick with it. But precaution, I think with the core, the coir, that's important to do. With peat moss, because it's peat based, a lot of times that has fungus gnat eggs in there, and the fungus gnat eggs can last a long time. So I always recommend hydrating peat based starting mix with boiling water. That will kill the fungus gnat eggs. And it's really, really effective. You want, in my opinion, a sterile seed starting mix indoors. You don't need microbes and soil life. That's all so important, but outside in your garden. Organic, microbes, everything outside. Inside, there's no nature, so there's no balance. So if you bring anything in, like if you bring in your own compost from outside to mix into your seed starting mix, you can end up with an infestation of fungus gnats, other insects, fungal diseases that just take over because there's no balance. So I really recommend a sterile mix, and you can do that with boiling water.
Yeah. Again, too. I mean, I see back behind you there, you got some plants growing indoors. Look at me. Could you imagine? And I segregate all of anything I ever bring in. It goes into another room. It's got to sit in there for at least a month or two before I'll ever bring it out to the regular house. Because again, you don't want to have infestations of things. Fungus gnats are just really, really annoying. They can be very hard to deal with and stuff, but there's a lot of other really worse stuff you just don't want. And it's a great idea, Gary. One of the things too about a sterile soil mix though too is that we really don't need nutrients in a seed starting mix, right?
You don't need, I mean, you need it all outside for sure.
Yep.
Inside,
as we move on,
I recommend now. I recommend organic or chemical based, either one. You just can't over concentrate the fertilizers in the little seed starting cells because that will damage your plants. You have to kind of do slow and low. Organic has a benefit, except it can smell really bad, and I don't like that in the house. So I use a very low dose chemical type, which doesn't harm the plants. You don't have any microbes, nothing to worry about. And then when I get outside, I go out on my organic ways and go back to that. But low and steady on the fertilizers is really important.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's see here. I think we kind of got a question here. Lexa's in here asking, can you give me some advice on what the most important things to look out for to get the best germination results for my seeds as a beginner? I'm germinating pepper, tomato, and red-green amaranthus.
So
any thoughts on that?
In order, I think, amaranthus, pepper, tomato. Amaranthus being a higher heat for germination. Peppers like 70 degrees Fahrenheit or more. Tomatoes do good in a house, 65 degrees, 70 degrees. So first thing you want is to make sure your growing area is at least around 68 degrees Fahrenheit. I think that's like 20 degrees Celsius. If you have a heating mat, go ahead and use that for the peppers or the amaranthus. That does help a little bit. But once they germinate, a couple of days, remove the heat mat. You don't need it for a long period of time. But the heat mat is number one. That will definitely help with germination. Letting the seed starting mix not sit super soggy makes a difference. So you put in your seeds, you water from the bottom, they're hydrated. Let them dry out. There's always water in the bottom of the seed cell. So the root will have plenty of water. But let that top starting mix go from that dark saturated brown color to that light dry brown color. and just keep an eye on it. When that cell gets really
Mhm.
light, when you pick it up, there's not a lot of water in it, but needs water, but don't keep it soaking wet for the whole time. That can lead to sometimes some
Yeah.
rotting, but it fills up the pores, the air pores in the soil, and you don't want that. Those are the two main things. The other thing is, I can't tell you how close to put the lights because I don't know what system you have, but you really want them germinating into
Mhm.
light. And you want your lights on. Some people read they don't need light to germinate. That's true in the most part, but they need to germinate into light. So if you miss that window with lights off for 24 hours, you're going to get these tall, leggy seedlings. Yeah,
Oh,
they
yeah.
germinated, but they're weak. So keep the light on a good 16 hours. I keep mine on, 8 hours off. And those three things I think will lead you to the best, chances for germination. Oh, and then one more thing. Instead of putting in one seed that might not germinate, go ahead and put in 2 or 3, depending on what the crop is or the variety is, and then
Yeah.
just thin them down to one plant. You never just want to wait around for one seed to germinate. It may not. So
Mhm.
double your chances at least.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Again, we can always take the opportunity just to pick your strongest, best one out of that situation as well, and then just grow that one individual, which is tough for a lot of people to do because they see 3 plants now growing up, and now they wanna grow all 3 of them. But, make the sacrifice.
Yeah,
Grow the biggest, best one, right?
that's absolutely like all gardeners don't want to sacrifice
So
the
bad.
plant.
Yeah.
It's inherent, but you have to do it.
Yep, yep.
They
As you
become
as you
actually, if you leave, go ahead.
Yep. No, no, go ahead.
Yeah, if you have 3 plants growing next to each other, they actually compete for height, so they become
Yeah.
even leggier. So you really want to remove those seedlings you're not going to keep so that one plant can be short, stocky, grow well, and they're all not racing to outgrow each other.
Do you think it's in general for most any type of plant you're growing that you're waiting for a certain amount of time? Like, do you want to wait for like a true leaf to pop up so you can kind of see how, it's maturing at least into that stage before you make that thinning cut?
I mean, it's probably that true leaf is probably forming. I wait not long, maybe 5 days after they all germinate and just kind of pick one of them.
Yeah,
Not too long.
not
I
too
don't think
long.
it matters on a big scale. Yeah, just be careful if you pull the plant out, you're not pulling the roots out of one plant and
Yeah.
damaging the roots of the one that's staying there. So some people clip it
Just
or they pinch it with their fingernails, or gently
mhm.
just pull it out to the side.
Yeah, yeah. And again, like I said, it's just maybe waiting so long, but just don't wait too long because you don't want them starting to compete with each
Don't wait
other.
too long.
Yeah. Excellent.
Right.
Excellent. Let's see here. We had another question. Coach Chavi in the chat right now asking, is there a seed that is tricky or gives you issues?
So chives for the last 5 years have been hard for
Mm,
me to germinate, and I don't know what the issue is. Used to be easy. I used to say they're simple. So
yeah.
chives give me some issue, and I'm getting fresh seed, and that's not working. Um, I mean, otherwise, certain things like rosemary and lavender don't have the best germination rate. You need to stratify them. I mean, seeds that need a little more care are a little bit harder, but I just overseed. I'll put in 4 rosemary seeds
Mhm.
and one of them's going to pop. I don't do much of the refrigerator cold stratification because I'm just not organized enough. So when I want to plant, I want to plant. But nothing, in particular. Sometimes there's a learning curve. You try some new stuff and doesn't go well, or you kill it out because you keep your starting mix too damp or too wet. And then,
Mhm.
you kind of adapt next time.
Yeah, yeah, I think of mine is, like, if which I don't do much anymore, I'm just more into direct seeding when it comes to, like, greens. But whenever I would, like, seed start some greens or something, I always ended up with leggy ones. I can get that light down there and everything, and they always gave me a problem every time, and I think that's one of the main reasons why it drove me to just, "All right, we're gonna just direct seed. We're not even gonna worry about these guys anymore. It's probably best to just do that." So, it's the only one I could really think of when I was thinking of that there, which one's given me that biggest issues I've had in the past.
No,
And it
one
comes
of
down
the
to what you're
things,
saying about light.
yeah. Yeah. And it's definitely the light. But what's also cool, and I just learned this over the last several years, is the 68 degrees of your home
The
makes
temperature.
those cool crops leggy
Yep.
also. So you
Yeah,
got the
good
lights
point.
close, and then the lights warm the soil more, and that extra warmth sends them growing just quickly, because when they get warm roots, they want to bolt and flower in nature. So you guys have the right temperatures for great germination, cooler nights, and stuff goes really well. And you can't really fix that indoors unless you move your flat outside during the day, let it get some cool temperatures. But a combination of, if you don't have enough light and the warmth, makes these cool crops even leggier. Like I have
Yeah.
them, like this is collards, and some of them, they're just
Yep.
flopping over. You know,
Mhm.
they'll be fine, but
Yeah.
it's just from the warmth.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's see here. KP. Thank you, everybody. Anyways, let's everybody out there in the audience right now joining with us here. Thank you for all of your gardening questions and everything too, as well. So if you do have any questions and you haven't jumped in yet already, get into the conversation there, and we can ask Gary some questions here. Like I said, it's always great to have these garden educators with us here on the show with all this great garden knowledge, so we all can learn a few things here while we got them with us. Let's see here. Question. Oh, here it is. Did I have that up there already? What water-soluble fertilizer is recommended for seeds that have germinated and have like 2 to 4 leaves already?
So, I mean, you definitely want to have nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium represented, the 3 main macronutrients. And then most of them have the next level: magnesium, calcium, and sulfur. So you need that.
Yeah.
You can use organic, you can use the chemical types. You just, in my opinion, want to keep the dose low. So a lot of your organic fertilizers are like, like a 333 NP and K. That's pretty low to begin with. Maybe a little bit less of a dose mixed in a gallon of water, or whatever the directions are, because you can always add. If your plants look a little yellow or stunted, you can add more fertilizer. With the chemical types, a lot of them are like a 10-20-10 or 24-8-12. That's way too high. So make sure, instead of using a tablespoon in a gallon like the outdoor recipe, use the indoor mix ratio, which is about a teaspoon or less in a gallon of water. And you can use either one. It's really your preference. I find the chemical types do a better job of giving a plant everything they need, and there's no odor. And if you're on a budget, it's a lot cheaper to do it that way. And then when you step outside, I go back to my organic ways for that. If you want to stick with organic, AgroThrive, who I am affiliated with, but they're a great organic water soluble that doesn't have the odor like fish emulsion and stuff like that. So it's really preference, but just don't overdo it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Shawnee Groves. Thanks, Shawnee, for being here today. Asks, what experiments are you doing in your own garden this year? You still do a bit of experimenting, Gary, and all these years later, playing around with different things, trying different stuff that you haven't tried before?
Still experimenting. Like, this is what I'm doing now. You know what this is?
What do we got?
Quick guess. This is just mushroom. So I'm doing
growing mushroom. That was where I was going.
Oh yeah, so it's the mycelium. So I'm growing this in different ways indoors, and this is oyster mushroom in wood pellets that are hydrated with boiling water. So I'm learning about mushrooms, and that's more indoors. But I'm taking this outside, and I'm growing oysters, wine caps, and maybe lion's mane in all my wooded paths, in a couple grow towers that I have. So that's the main thing that I'm experimenting with. And then the other thing that I'm doing, I don't have the seeds here. Oh, here's just a couple of them. But French marigolds, I'm going to proliferate my garden with it, because they have a chemical in there that really keeps some insects at bay. And I'm focusing on the whitefly. So underneath all of my brassicas, my collards and stuff, tons of French marigolds, and they need to be French marigolds for the chemical compounds in the leaves. So that's going to be one of the bigger experiments this year. It's going to be hundreds of marigolds throughout the garden.
Well, that'll be awesome. Marigolds are awesome flowers for one, and so the French are really, as we hear about planting things into our garden, and marigolds comes up a lot as one of those ones that's going to help be a
Mhm.
pest deterrent of sorts. But you really say that the French marigold is really where you're going to find the best results for that.
Yeah, the chemical compound, I'll spell it. It's Limosene. I actually had it written down here, and I can never pronounce anything, but that limousine, maybe it's not limousine, but I don't know. But Limosene. That's the chemical compound that can actually break down the shell of these insects. So they've just
Mm.
learned over, tens of thousands, millions of years, stay away from the scent. So you need something that the insects know is a problem. So the marigold scent can mask the scents of other plants, causes some confusion. Not 100% perfect. If there was a 100% perfect companion plant that deterred
Yeah.
everything, you and I would know about it by now. Like it'd be common
Yeah.
knowledge. But you
Yeah.
need a good concentration of these marigolds.
So plenty of them. So that's really the base of the experiment then, is just getting a ton of them out there, right?
Yep, it's going to be.
Yep.
So I mean, just if people just you have your collards and your kale. So I'm doing the dwarf variety right under the plant so that the scent stays under it. And then I'm doing taller varieties on the outside so the scent goes across the top of them. So I'm trying to kind of make a barrier with low growing marigolds and taller marigolds growing in between the kale and the collards, or any brassica really.
Excellent, excellent. And back to the mushrooms though too, because I grew some this last season as an experiment myself. I'm not much of a mushroom person myself, but again, I love growing. I love experimenting with things, so it's always fun to kind of do that sort of stuff. Do you got any real tips or anything like that for folks who might want to get into trying mushrooms themselves?
I mean, the biggest thing, there's a lot of different people online you can buy the mushroom spawn from, or fruiting blocks. I get
Yeah.
mine from North Spore. And you want to start with a quality product. So just do a little bit of research. But once you have your fruiting block or whatever you're purchasing, you want to just make sure the heat of your house doesn't dry out the mushroom. So you do have to keep them spritzed with a sprayer, at least, in my opinion, 3 times a day. And if you're running heat like we are now, because it's 17 degrees out, you have to put like a big bag around them and kind of pinch it and just keep the moisture in. But if you can keep some humidity around them, they grow really, really well. They don't need to be in darkness. They can be to the side of a window. They're not hard to grow. And I would say, if you're going to pick a mushroom to start with, go with the oyster mushrooms, just the white oyster mushroom, basic oyster mushroom. They grow really well. I fortunately love mushrooms, so I make soups and all kinds of stuff out of them all the time.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, mushrooms are really fun, really easy to grow too. So definitely try those out if you'd like to as well. Let's see here. And Shawnee dropped us another question too. What have you not achieved in your gardening career? Well, that's an interesting question right there. Is there something that you still yet to do that you haven't had a chance to get to yet?
Well, I mean, I was lucky enough 6 years ago to move to my new property.
Yeah.
And it's an 1867 farmhouse. Got to take all my previous experience, build the garden that I want, have the property that I want. So that's was on the list. Totally, I don't know if vanity is the right word, but I do want to get to 1 million subscribers
There you
for my
go.
gardening career.
Oh man,
on
and
my
you're
YouTube
getting
channel.
close
So
too, man. I'm loving it.
it's rolling slow. I mean, for gardeners in general, things are slowing down on YouTube over time, but I just like to get to that number. It would be just pretty cool to say. I'm on a board. I work with a program and helping teach people how to grow. So I've hit that milestone. I wanted to make sure I was teaching. So I've really got to achieve a lot of the things that are really important. And so now I'm just like, all right, let's see. I got to write 2 books. I have written 2 books. So
Yeah.
I'm just kind of
Yeah.
enjoying each year.
Yeah, I know. I mean, again, too, you've done quite a bit when it comes down to it. And like I was telling everybody and before, was that I've been following you for a long, long time. I remember when you hit 100,000 subscribers. I remember that when that
Yeah.
happened, and I was like, "Oh man, that is so awesome," and everything too. And then I think, yeah, you're really not that far away, heading towards 800,000 now too, and that's just really, really
Yeah.
amazing. And again, too, couldn't happen to a
Slow and
better
steady.
gardener as far as I'm concerned. So congratulations on all of your achievements, when it comes down to it through, jumping into this gardening community and all you've been able to do over the years. Okay, let's see
Yeah,
here.
appreciate it.
Oh, in fact, talking about your books, Jay's in the conversation right now, asking, can you tell us a little bit about your 2 books?
Yeah, so the most recent one's Over My Shoulder. Really about growing an edible landscape, and it just teaches you how to think a little bit out of the box, has information for basic gardening and stuff like that. My first book is more on home gardening, but how to use just the space in your yard to grow edible food. So where you might grow perennial flowers, you can mix in pepper plants. Instead of using ivy for ground cover, you can use strawberries. Instead of growing bushes that don't have any food value, you can grow blueberry bushes. And the book really helps you kind of shift from having massive lawn, which does nobody any good, to using it in a way that you can just have more food. And it could be in perennial beds, it could be in beds along the house, it could be your standard garden. And it just takes you through that whole process. And it gives you a lot of ideas on different groupings, like you can do a tea garden or a berry garden, and just kind of blend that into your landscape. So we don't say, get rid of lawns 100%, don't grow anything you can't eat, but just how do you kind of blend it together? And that was the second book. The first book is The Modern Homestead Garden. And this is just really about everything we've already been talking about. How to manage a garden, start to finish, growing stuff indoors, and just help you kind of get on track for, managing your first, bigger scale garden and stuff like that.
Yeah, excellent. Really great books. Definitely got to tell you. I do have The Modern Homestead Garden. Do got to get the next one for sure. But yeah, again, really, really great information if you want to learn about gardening and growing. I'm sure Jay can get us some links maybe in the chat there for everybody too, if you want to get a copy of Gary's books there too. And Serena asks, Gary, what do you do with all the produce you harvest? Because you got a big old property and you grow a lot of stuff. And what do you do with all that stuff you got?
I think I recognize Serena's name. So I grow too much because it's a teaching show.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's not really wasteful because it would never exist if I didn't grow it. I have tried to get friends and family and people over regularly, and they all say, like, hey, it's a great idea, I'll come and get stuff. But they never really come, or they come a week later when it's gone. So I do give away a good amount. I want to give away more. A lot of it goes into compost, 20%,
Right.
but I try and give away as much as I can. I've tried working with shelters and places that may want the food, but I do everything myself, the video, the garden, the care. Processing it and bagging it up and taking it is just, I can't do it all. But you'd be surprised at how hard it is sometimes to give food away. It's more difficult than I thought it would be.
Yeah. I go with the all my neighbors know me. So I just drop stuff off. I'm just like, here you go. Here's a bunch of this, or here's a bunch of that. Here's a bit of that though too. But again, do you have any animals you keep? Do you keep any chickens or anything like that, or things that you're throwing scraps or stuff from your garden too?
No, I mean, no chickens. Something we think about. But we want to travel. We have a grandson now,
Right.
Austin,
Yeah.
amazing. Well, so I didn't want to pull in any animals prior to Austin because I wanted to travel and I'd have to get care for it. And now that I have a grandkid and possibly more over the next couple of years, I just don't want the animals right now. Got a beautiful dog, Willow, who is like the perfect dog, stays on the property, follows me around, listens to commands. So that's good. But we'll see. I'm going to try
nothing to be feeding extra stuff from the garden from though, huh?
No. So I am I try and keep the people that have gotten food from me before come in more regularly. And I think we can give away a lot. Like I grow super hot peppers.
Yeah.
Because I just like growing them, but it's hard to
Yeah.
find people that want, 2 pounds of ghost peppers. So
Yeah, it is hard. And again, I'm the same, Gary. They're probably one of my favorite things to grow are peppers. Everybody who watches this show and this channel knows that peppers are my favorite thing. I don't eat super hot peppers, but I love growing the plants. And
Yeah.
again, I like growing pepper plants because they just got every variety has a different temperament of everything. The plants grow differently, the pods are different and cool, and all these sort of things, which really make them awesome. But you're right, those hot ones are kind of hard to give away. But every now and then, you tell people that tell someone that you're growing hot peppers, right? And they're like, "Ooh, I love hot peppers." And I was like, "Well, I bet you."
Get them, yeah.
And they're like, "Oh no, I can." I had one young man who's a friend of my neighbor that this last year, and he was like, "Oh no, I can eat the hottest and blah blah blah, this and that." And I was like, "Have you really tried a hot pepper?" And he's like, "Oh no, I can do it." And I give him one, and boy, was he lit up over. It was a Prima Tolly too, and I don't know if you know that variety, but that one was like in competition with the Carolina Reaper. So,
wow.
So every now and then we can get someone to taste test them and try them, but yeah, it's not something we're giving away too easily out of our gardens. Right on. Let's see here. I know we got more questions. Everybody, thank you so much, all you out there throwing out all these great questions for Gary and everything. You're making my interview so easy.
Keep
all
rolling.
right. I know. Oh no. Okay. Well, quick here. We got a comment actually. David from Bowtie Life says, "I always enjoy watching you, Gary, develop your new property. Let's see. You're about 2 years ahead of my own property. I've gotten a lot of inspiration from your journey." So I think that's a little bit of a thank you for everything else too. Again, from David there.
Congrats on your
David.
own property. It's always exciting when you get a new piece of land and you can, slowly develop into whatever you dream. I always say, like, part of what I like about gardening is we're I think, natural earth sculptors. I mean, we sculpt. We create art with nature, and I think it's pretty amazing because no one garden is alike. I mean, it really has our personality, our vision, our design, and you're starting with every year pretty much a blank canvas, and you populate it with your art with the different plants.
Yeah, that's such a great way of putting it too, is that it's we're sculpting an art piece in a way when we're thinking about what our property or spaces are that we're growing in. For me though, I mean, I've had kind of this, in the back of my mind, it would be great to have a bigger property, a nicer place, and do all that sort of stuff. But for some reason, in my sense of what I've got a small spaces. We grow in alleyways, rooftops, back patios. We're trying to maximize small spaces and all of that sort of stuff. But I still don't think, Gary, that I've really achieved the full maximization of what I can do with this property here. You know what I mean? So each year I'm still kind of challenging myself more and seeing more of what I can do or what, different things I can try and all that sort of stuff when it comes to that sort of thing. So even though I think it would be great to have another property, I think, there's still so much I can do with what I've got here for sure.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun. I mean, that's the creative
sculpting that art
right there.
Yeah. Exactly. And sometimes it's like one of those clay art pieces too, you're sculpting it this way and it looks great, but then you look at it for a little while and you go, "Oh, well, maybe I can do this over here." And then you come back over here and you go, maybe this side needs a little bit of this. And you're just kind of constantly changing it. And I think I'm still not ready to call that sculpture finished yet, Let's see here. Next question. Robin from Robin Gardens out of Chicago is asking us, do you have 2 top tomato varieties for awesome flavor? I'll just let you know, Gary, Robin over at Robin Gardens she's like our variety queen. She grows all sorts of great stuff. She's always trying different varieties and all sorts of really awesome things. So what 2 top tomato varieties would you suggest for her to try growing this year?
So that's always a hard question because some people like the acidity or the tomato umami that they might call it, or they like really sweet sugary tomatoes? So that's always a tough question. I do like the standard Sun Gold. A lot of people heard about as a very sweet cherry tomato, but that's pretty common. I like the Homestead variety tomato because it does well here in Maryland with the humidity, and it says semi-dwarf or semi-determinate, but it grows like a indeterminate variety. That has a good flavor to it. I like the Black Krim and Cherokee Purple, but they kind of get beat up with our heat.
Yeah.
I mean, I enjoy so many. It's hard for me to really pick one. I'm trying to think of.
If you want a dark one, I think Black Beauty is one I've seen that's done pretty well in the heat. If you're looking for a dark one that's heat tolerant, I have to deal with heat tolerant varieties. I've got no choice anymore. The way we get hot here in the summertime.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah.
So I'm always searching. Like I'm trying to cut down the amount of tomatoes I grow, but I always have that test space open for new varieties.
Yeah, definitely. Gotta keep, trying new things and everything, but we also should, as we're finding those things and those varieties, no matter what it is, whether it's tomatoes, cucumbers, or anything else, you kind of want to find those mainstays. What are the things you really enjoy and those sort of things, so that really ultimately, instead of growing and experimenting with most everything, you're not liking or don't want or try something different, we got to have those things that we know are going to really fill our freezers and our storage up and all that sort of stuff as we're harvesting, that we're going to really enjoy too. That we get some good use out of, right?
Now there's a variety called Matt's Wild Cherry. It's a small cherry tomato, and at some point I grew it, threw it into the compost, and it grows on its own, and it's super prolific. It's a really nice, disease-resistant, sweet tomato if you want to try something more of an heirloom. And I know that the Matt's Wild Cherry is what a lot of hybridizers use as one of the plants for the disease and sugars. So it's already around in a lot of different tomato plants, but the original variety is Matt's Wild Cherry.
Excellent. That's a great one. Also too, I see Kelpie Capers Farm is in here too, and she's a great person there too, to get some. She has a tomato. She's a tomato addict, and she has her own groups and all this sort of stuff, and collects just tons of varieties of different tomatoes. So maybe Kelpie can jump in with a couple of really great varieties of tomatoes for everybody as well too. All right, let's see here. Jay is asking, Gary, was your evolution into gardening business a planned retirement plan?
Yeah. So by education, I am a mental health therapist. So I worked 20 years at Johns Hopkins, mental health therapist in their outpatient center with adults in Baltimore City. And I was doing that while I was doing YouTube 15 years ago. Always had a passion for gardening for decades. When the basically COVID came and everything was happening on the job site, I was like, you know what? I'm lucky enough that the YouTube channel is doing well enough. Let me just transition over. So it wasn't planned, but it became something that I was able to do, after about, I don't know, 9 or 10 years of just having fun with the YouTube channel. The YouTube channel was a way to take a break from my profession and just go out and garden. And I remember my first YouTube video is terrible, but I keep it up there just to keep me, humble and stuff like that.
I do the same too.
So, and I would say for anybody who wants to start a YouTube channel, there's still room. Just be yourself, figure out how you want to do it, be authentic, make sure you know where your passion is, and you see how it goes, because it starts out slow and it builds over time, and you just stick with it and it works out well. So I was just lucky enough to say, hey, you know what, and then I say retired, it's still work, but you're the boss of yourself. So it's kind of nice.
Yeah. That's one of the fun things about it, right? It's, again, getting back to the art or anything like that. It's our own creative thing. It's us. You get to be authentic. You get to be you. That's one of the things I loved about YouTube when I first started learning about gardening and finding channels like yours, Gary, was just finding these really authentic people teaching gardening and what they know and what works for them and all that. So you're getting really good, personal advice from people in a way too, from a good YouTube channel. So I really agree with you about that too. It's like just go be yourself, know what you want to do, and have fun with it. Have fun, and just
Hmm.
there's plenty of room still. YouTube still isn't even as big as it's going to get eventually. So there's plenty of room for everybody. All right, there's a couple varieties on screen there for
Hmm.
everybody too that Kelpie's recommending too for those tomato varieties. Also, Gary, someone else with another compliment in here, Gothic Park says, Gary, we've watched your channel a lot. We now have 23 flats of flower seeds started inside. We've learned a lot from your channel. So I guess that's a big thank
23
you,
flats.
Gary. 23
That's a good
flats.
amount. Yeah. Very welcome. I enjoy it. Like, you also find too, gardeners are some of the nicest people, I think,
The best
across the
community.
globe. You rarely find an angry gardener, aside being angry at,
Yeah.
why is this pest in here? What's going on? But everybody wants to help each other. I really like
It
just
really
the group
is.
of people.
And that's really, when it comes down to it, that's what the show was really why I thought of this and why I wanted to do this sort of thing was to kind of be, I've just from the get-go, either finding a channel like yours, but then getting the comment section and meeting all these other people, finding other groups out there and really just getting into the gardening community really just changed my life and perspective in a lot of ways when it came to certain things. So when, I was thinking, what could I really do as we were talking about, being authentic and doing something that you'll really enjoy and what you want to contribute to this gardening community was to do something for the community that was just really so awesome to me. Right.
Yeah.
So, I got fortunate to meet some folks who, who've got big channels and do different things, and was lucky to do some videos and collaborations and things. So I thought, hey, you know what? Let's kind of pay it back to the community and develop a show for them. We'll bring some of these cool people together and everybody together, because it really is just an amazing group of people worldwide, like you said. And so again, it's just really awesome. Okay, let's see here. I know we got some more questions in here. Serena was asking, Gary, are you going to send Austin any produce for his mom to blend into baby food? I think that's a good idea, right? You can use some of that stuff and make some baby food, right?
Well, I mean, the beauty is that when my daughter and her husband moved into their house, I went and built a garden with him. So they have their own garden. So I will definitely be helping them plant it up. They will be using it for Austin. If I'm traveling, certainly I bring them stuff like that. I mean, we make a lot of sauce, like, tomatoes really renders down to a nice tomato sauce. And you need a lot of them. So I just, from earlier, I don't waste everything. So a lot of it is used. But she's got her own garden. And Austin, I'm going to start teaching how to grow when he's a little bit older, and kind of just repeating what my grandfather taught me when I was in second grade. And, hopefully the passion gets to him. I think every kid needs to learn where their food comes from, or at least learn the skills to grow it. They may or may not need it, but definitely learn it.
Yeah. That's probably why you thought her name looked familiar. She says she's a member on the Rusted Garden. Excellent. Thank you so much for the questions and everything there, Serena, as well too. Grandkids, that's another thing we have in common, Gary. I got my new grandkid too as well. I'm excited about, again, passing and sharing this whole passion along with her and everything. I will mention, on the sense of baby food, we did grow some squashes and some things like that last year that my little Layla is my little granddaughter, Layla. She's just loving all of that sort of stuff. And one of the things too you were mentioning is that your kids are growing their own garden, for their children and all of that as well too. That's something that's now my daughter hasn't been too interested. She checks some things out. She thinks some things are pretty cool that's going on, but just hasn't been too interested in growing too much herself. But it's kind of something that having children and all of that sort of stuff just kind of changes the mind. She's already asking me, hey, let's get some tomato plants started over here. Let's grow a few other things, And she still remembers, as I tell everybody, the story of my very first edible plant I ever grew, which was a tomato start a friend gave me. And she still remembers when I we were eating those or not tomato cucumbers
Yeah.
that we were eating together, and all of that too. So she's like, I want to do that same thing. I want to grow some things and share them with my daughter as well too, my granddaughter. So I think that's just really cool. Ultimately, is that that we can pass this down some
Pass it along,
generations,
yeah.
right?
Definitely. I mean, it really kind of can change certainly grandkids, I think, change your perspective. And then as you get older, like I'm going to actually be 60, and you sit back and realize what are the important things. And that memory you have with your daughter and the cucumber plant, that's what I think is really important. And of course, then your daughter realizes, hey, dad kind of knows what he's doing. Look, he's pretty good at that. So you'll get to teach your family again. It builds conversations, it builds memories, and it's just a nice way to, have part of your life. You got so much stuff going on in the world in your life that can be negative, but these are good memories. The garden creates good memories.
Yeah, they certainly do. And for me though, really, I don't necessarily have those type of family memories of gardening and all that sort of stuff. So for me, I'm just looking forward to building those for, my daughter and my granddaughter and those generations, that they can hopefully continue and have those memories themselves to pass down as well too. So, it's just really just something I think about all the time, especially since being, I mean, isn't it one of the greatest things that's ever happened to your life? I mean, come on, grandchildren.
Yeah. I mean,
I can't get over it. I just can't get over it.
It's amazing. Yeah. I mean, it's amazing. We could just hang out with him forever and every day, and you're happy.
Yeah.
So it's
good. How old is he right now?
He is 6 months. So still young.
Yeah. Mine's about a year older now. And she's a year and a half, and she's still, and you talk about like wanting to hang out all the time, and it's just, it takes a lot more energy at about another year to hang out with them, but it's so much fun. And it's just so great to see, I just can't get enough of it. I'm telling you. All right, let's see here.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, let's see here. Another question. Gothic Park asks, Gary, does cinnamon work for algae on seed trays? Is this something you've tried?
I've tried it. I've tried it for fungus gnats. It helps a little bit, but it's kind of pricey. The best thing to do for algae's in your water. You put it under lights, the algae multiplies. Your seed starting mix is staying wet. You get the green, algae on there. Best thing to do is just cover it with fine vermiculite, or some more starting mix, and just cover it over and let it be. It's not going to hurt anything. But how
about fans? They're mentioning
that's better than the cinnamon.
There you go.
Yeah. Fans can help. It will help cool. It'll help dry the soil so the algae may not form. But it just depends too. Like it's something that's in our water here, and it springs up pretty fast. So, but covered over with some seed starting mix, and that works.
Yeah, there you go. Excellent. Right on. Well, again, just thank you everybody, and for all of these great questions that you've been dropping in here for Gary. I really appreciate all of that. Like I said, you made my interview so much easier. We didn't really jump into it, so I'm going to ask you real quick here. How did last season grow? Because it's been a little while since we've had you on the show last time.
Yeah.
So how did your last season grow? Did everything turn out as well as you wanted to?
Yeah, I mean, it was a good year. My son actually got married also, and he got married on the property. So we spent the last 3 months of last year really developing the property. The wedding was amazing. I got to put a little video on YouTube about it. So that was amazing. Grew a pumpkin patch in one of my out gardens for Austin and future grandkids. That was outstanding. This stuff grew well, lantern flies are still a problem. But aside from that, it was a good season. And every year, like, I'm trying to refine it and simplify it so that I can get maximum enjoyment, but less work. As you get older, it's like, do I really want to lug another 40-pound bag of something? So I'm trying to figure out how to kind of simplify things. But but it's good. I think this year is going to be great too. Once I get out through the ice and snow, it'll be all right.
Yeah, excellent. And Jay's asking, how did you get into selling seeds? Selling seeds?
Yeah, so I started just saying, hey, I'm selling neem oil, because neem oil, in order for it to be effective, it has to be cold pressed. It has to have the azadirachtin in it. Unfortunately, a lot of stuff on the shelf is a hydrophobic extract and doesn't work as whatever. So I just started selling neem oil. And then I learned where I could buy seeds. I initially grew a lot of seeds and sold them, and it just kind of transformed into that I wanted to create a cheap way for people to get seeds. We sell our seeds at $1.75, tomato and peppers, $1.50 for all the other seeds at therustedgarden.com, and they're good seeds. I mean, they do what you need to do, and no need to pay $3 a pack or $4 a pack for them.
That's right, huh? Let's see here. Excellent. Again, everybody, thank you so much. One last question for you here from Serena. Sure. Any tricks to getting basil seeds to germinate? She must be having some trouble. There's some seed trouble.
Yeah, so basil tends to grow pretty easily for me. Always, if a batch of seeds isn't working, try another batch just to make sure, it's not the seeds. But I do 3 or 4 seeds in a seed starting tray. I do let the top of the starting mix turn to that light color and dry out. But basil, you can, snip off stuff and put it right into water. So it's not, I just found that I wish I had a solution for you, but it's pretty hardy. I would probably go with a little bit less watering and let it germinate and see what happens. But once it gets going, it's pretty good. And just make sure that it's good seed. I mean, sometimes it's fresh seed that just is needed.
Yeah, that's very true. Very true. Right on. Excellent. So again, everybody, thank you so much for all the great questions today here. Gary, before we do move on today and finish up here, is there any, well, I guess, we kind of touched on this, but you got any big plans, got any things coming up for 2026, anything that you want to let anybody know about, or any upcoming videos that you're excited about producing and putting out there for everybody?
Right. Well, I have 2 YouTube channels. I have the Rusted Garden, and I have another one, My First Vegetable Garden. And I'm resurrecting the second one, and it's really going to be slower paced, more conversation for brand new gardeners. So it's more information, and that will be the channel where I'm helping people plan out their garden for that month early on. So it'll be more like me talking personally to you versus just a teaching video. So that's going to be content that I'm trying to create. So people can be like, hey, it's March 1st. Gary's on. He's got a handful of seeds. This is what I should be doing. Let me see what he's doing. And then I'm going to come back to that so people can see how the stuff is growing, every couple of weeks or something like that. So that's what I want to do. And then I'd mentioned the pumpkin patch. I am trying to gear up some of my other space for more fun things for grandkids. So we'll see.
Excellent. Right on, man. That sounds like a lot of great stuff. You doing live streams?
I do. I've been doing live streams every second and fourth Thursday at 11 a.m. I do Garden Grounds, and it's just a mentoring, basically Q&A. I have a light subject, talk about that, but just take everybody's questions and stay on for about an hour. Similar to kind of what we're doing. I mean, it's nice being on with you because it's more of a conversation.
That's right.
Not just reading the questions by myself. So I love the interaction. I mean, that's always a lot of fun. But every second and fourth Thursday, 11 a.m., I do that live event. I also have perk memberships. Like if you want to join my channel, it's $3.99 a month, and I do 5 one-hour mentoring sessions with the group. It's a smaller group every month, and just help you answer questions about what's going on in your garden.
Yeah, that sounds like a great membership opportunity for folks out there. You go check out both of Gary's channels and all of that. I was just going to say, that was one of the real missions, again, too, with putting and doing this show in this sort of format and all of that is because I've never really considered myself the garden educator as folks like yourself, or tomorrow we got Gardner Scott on and a bunch of other just really amazing gardeners I've gotten to learn from all of these years. So that was the big idea, is like, instead of trying to take advice from this gardener, let's get
Right.
some of these just really amazing, really great gardeners who've been sharing and doing all that stuff out there, creating awesome content for the gardening community, and just have some really fun conversations. You know, I'm a little more gardening entertainment, if you will, but you're still going to learn a ton, you know, through these conversations still anyways. So yeah, just really a great format here. But I love those formats of just be able to get and watch like what you do as well too, and just be able to get and just pick your brain right directly from the
Well, that's nice.
right from the chat, you know, and be able to interact with
Yeah.
those folks that are watching your channel and your videos.
I think it's important because sometimes, I mean, my whole goal is to teach. So a lot of my stuff is educational, versus, hey, this is what I'm doing in my life. But having that live format, a person can get their question answered quickly rather than spending so much time trying to find the answer. And then they can get back out into the garden, they can try it out, have a better experience. And I think I've been doing that for like 2 years. So it's gone pretty good. I enjoy that.
Yeah, excellent. Right on. Well, like I've always say at the end of the show, where did the time go? Because like these conversations are always fun. They're always great.
Yeah.
And again, everybody who's been watching with us today, if you haven't had a chance to check out Gary's channel, The Rusted Garden, you can get links right down below for all of that. And I know Jay's been dropping in links to the other channel, the books and all that sort of stuff in the conversation. So
Appreciate
definitely
it.
go and check all of that out as well too. And really always look forward to having you here on the show with us. And we'll really look forward to being able to talk to you. And like I said, pick your brain a little bit more on the next time around.
Definitely. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, Gary. Again, we look forward to the next time. Everybody go check out the links below. We'll see you in just a moment. All right. There we go. Another great show here for you all today. Wonderful conversation with our sponsor and good friend over at IV Organic, Charles Malky, joining with us earlier for the Are You Following Me segment. And definitely go and check out the link below to IV Organic, and go get some of that 3-in-1 plant guard and pick out some free fruit scions and plants and figs and things that they're giving away there with your purchase. And definitely use our promo code GROW10, GROW10, to save 10% off on that purchase as well, and get all those free things. And that's great idea for you to do, and get some of that into your garden shed, as well as thank you to Gary as well too, again, for joining with us here today. Just another really great conversation with him, and look forward to talking to him again down the road, hopefully later on here in the season. Also, everybody, if you haven't had a chance to check out last week's shows, go back and check out last week's shows. We had some really great fun there. We had a community show. We had Dr. Jeff on talking about blue zones last Sunday. Lots of great stuff. We had Brandy from the Suburban Gardenista and Michael from the Garden Nerd on our Green Room show on Mondays. And also tomorrow, like I mentioned also as well too, we got Gardner Scott joining with us for the Sunday edition. Same time, 11 a.m., 2 p.m. Eastern, or 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. And then again to Monday evening for the Green Room with Natalie and I. Natalie from the Fresh Princess. Andre the Farmer and Gardening with Gray will be joining us for that conversation on the Green Room coming up Monday night. And then this next week on the Let's Get Growing show, on our Saturday show, we're going to have Mary Falia from Growing Joy with Maria joining with us. We're going to talk a bit about houseplants. I've been wanting to do this for a while, invite a really great houseplant creator out there onto the show. So we've got Maria joining with us next Saturday for our Saturday show, talk about houseplants with us. And then for the Sunday edition next week on the show is our monthly gardening book club. Yes, it's our monthly gardening book club, the third Sunday of the month. That's not tomorrow, but next Sunday with our good friend Mark Boucher Colbert, Mr. NBC, and I will have a great conversation with Willie Galloway this month. We are featuring Willie Galloway's Veggies for Breakfast. So you want to come and join with us next Sunday for the book club. We'll talk all about veggies for breakfast, how to get those things that we're growing in our garden put into the most important meal of the day. So definitely come and check out our book club next Sunday. And then, of course, the Green Room next Monday with Natalie and I. We're going to have with us Guten Gardening, Paul. He's in our Sunday in the Garden segment. Paul's going to be joining with us for the conversation, along with Scott from New Garden Road. These two are going to join with us for the conversation with Natalie and I for next Monday. So that's a look ahead what we're going to be doing on next weekend here on the show. And again, definitely come and join with us tomorrow and Monday to continue your 3-day gardening weekend here on the Let's Get Growing show. And if you can, before we head out today, let's go ahead and click that like button, hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, hit the bell notification to be notified, share with all of your friends and let them know that we're here on the Urban Gardener channel every weekend here with really amazing guests. And also everybody definitely follow the links down below in the description. And real quick here too, before I do finish up here, I don't know what, there was someone I wanted to mention too real quick. I did see something, I don't see it up there anymore, but someone was mentioning about the email address, about not being able to get pictures through to our email address. Just be sure, because it does kind of trick people, and maybe I should switch it. I know, I probably should, but it's theurbangardener@mail.com. A lot of people confuse that and say Gmail because you immediately think Gmail. It's so common and all that sort of stuff, but it's actually mail.com. So if you're having any trouble, that might be the issue, but send us some of your garden photos to be featured in our snapshots of the week throughout all of our shows here on the Urban Gardener channel on the weekend. So definitely send us those pictures. I want to see all of what you guys have growing on throughout our gardening year, and feature those right here on the show. So, all right, everybody, thank you so much for being here. It was really great to hang out with all of you, and Gary and Charles, and we look forward to seeing all of you this next week. We'll see all of you then.
The ugliest plant in the world, but I love it.